Take one size 16 fast food addict.
It's very easy for me to just pick up a takeaway or just pick up a ready meal.
Mixed together with 4 hot chefs willing to share their skinny secrets.
We are not cutting back on the crunchy crispy factor. That's got to be the most important part.
Allow 6 weeks to reduce by 1 size, and you've got yourself a recipe to cook yourself thin.
Dieting. It's a waste of my time. I love food too much.
I hate diets. I think they prevent people from being free. I've tried dieting, crash diets. I would never do it again.
Diets are so over. Stop wasting your time and start treating your palate. This is the show which will teach you to love your food. Yes, you can shift the bulge and still indulge if you know how to cook yourself thin. Meet our 4 cool cooks who will show you how to have your cake, eat it and still look gorgeous. Chef Sophie.
When it comes to dieting and losing weight, my philosophy for starters is don't diet.
Food stylist Harry.
Denial is very dangerous. If you don't have it, then you're going to end up craving it and having it anyway.
Food writer Gizzy.
I'd be so miserable if I didn't have chocolate. Chocolate is, I am one of those people who has to eat chocolate every single day.
And food consultant Sal.
My favourite food has got to be all food, of course.
This week they're helping disillusioned dieter Lisa Hudson drop a dress size without giving up her favourite foods.
They look fantastic.
Plus, we test one more slimming product, finding out if it really works or if it's just a big fat fib. 31-year-old Lisa Hudson is a size 16 on top and a 14 on the bottom. She's a serial dieter, but no matter how hard she tries, she can't lighten her load.
The worst parts of my body are my upper arms. I think they're a little bit too big. My upper thighs and my tummy. It's quite wobbly, so I'd like to lose some weight around there.
Lisa is always on the go, constantly short of time. She usually grabs the easiest food option.
Lots of chocolate, cakes, biscuits, fruit tarts.
Lisa's fast life means fast food, and her takeaway habit seems to be taking over.
My favourite takeaways are fish and chips and also spicy chicken burgers with mayonnaise and cheese. And getting a kebab is just the easiest option for me.
But even when Lisa manages to force herself into the kitchen, it's a miserable microwave meal.
I don't think I could survive without ready meals. If I did, I'd probably lose a lot of weight because I wouldn't be eating.
It's going to be a real challenge, isn't it, this one? I don't think she cares about cooking so much. So for her, it's about ease, quick, fast.
She's consuming so much junk food that I'm finding it quite frightening. Her diet is probably the worst diet I've ever seen.
Yeah, Lisa is for real when it comes to takeaways. She's not joking around. She's properly dedicated to the cause.
Lisa's fondness for fried food means that fish and chips are a weekly weakness.
The batter around fish and chips is actually one of my favourites, and I prefer a piece of fish that is covered in batter to one that's not.
But this British favourite is a belt buster because of the fat-drenched batter and oily chips. Sal's challenge: make a fish and chip supper with half the fat.
The thing about Lisa is she just loves deep fried things, whether it's, her fish and chips or if it's her chicken. So we've got to give her good, healthier alternatives to that. So the chips, I'm just going to literally toss in some egg white that I'm going to froth up. And then just to give it a bit of a kick, Cajun spice, chuck those in, shove that in the oven, turn them every 10 minutes. The perfect skinny chip. I'm using place for the fish and chips. Rather than deep frying it in lots of fat, etc., we're going to make a lovely crispy breadcrumb herby topping.
Oh, that sounds
go
delicious.
on top. Capers. flat leaf parsley and lemon. And I don't want it like really fine at all. I'm just going to actually pulse it. But the secret ingredient in this, and I have tried it without any fat, but just needs a bit of melted butter just to add the crispness to it.
It's hardly anything though, isn't it?
Get the place, flour, egg, and then yummy seasoned breadcrumbs. These little babies are going to go on the top so they get to crisp up. But in the meantime, we're going to make some mushy peas, none of that marrow fat rubbish. Frozen peas. I'm going to drain these, 0% Greek yoghurt. Lemon zest, bit of lemon juice, tiny bit of shredded mint in there. Look at that.
Done.
And then you're just going to mash them so you feel like you've got mushy peas. Because you're not having tartare sauce, you want to have a bit of sort of juiciness in your peas.
I know, you need it.
Because otherwise you feel like it's going to be a bit dry and
Yeah,
nasty, and we don't want that. So the place is nice and crunchy. The chips. Da-da-da. Would you know that they had no fat on them? Perfect.
For an even more indulgent dish, add more butter to the topping for extra crispiness.
You wouldn't feel like you're missing out on a bit of deep fried fish there, would you?
That's some serious caper action as well. I love capers, so it's brilliant.
Sal's fish and chip meal looks the part, but will it pass the cook yourself thin test? Meet the bomb. Technically known as a ballistic bomb calorimeter. It's an expensive piece of high-tech equipment used by science boards to measure the exact calorie count of any food. This is how it works. Food is blended in a liquidizer, placed in a hot oven until burnt to a cinder, crushed to a powder, inserted into a sealed chamber and then charged with oxygen. The food sample is then exploded, revealing the calorific content, which is 424. That's less than half of Lisa's regular takeaway fish and chip meal. Sal's beaten the bomb.
Do you want to know a secret? Shh.
Cutting onions is actually a bit of a problem for most people because their eyes start streaming, as do mine, and apparently blue eyes are worse than brown eyes for this. I've devised a way of getting around the problem by using what I call onion goggles. Now, these are my favourite item in the kitchen, and it's the only foolproof way. You think that these are actually friendly, nice things, and actually they come and get you as well, so be careful. And also, obviously, the little spring onion, not to be underestimated. Just because it's smaller doesn't mean it isn't as strong. Not a tear in sight.
Mashed potato is a dieter's nightmare. It's always so full of butter and cream. My posh version uses olive oil and roast garlic, so it's fantastically full of flavour and much lower in calories. Mashed potato can also be so boring, so by adding a bit of olive oil and the roast garlic to it gives it such a depth of flavour. People love it for dinner parties and never know what your little secret trick is. Now I've got some plain mashed potato that I've just mashed up and seasoned a little bit. Then I'm going to add a bit of olive oil, but not too much because it obviously is a fat. A bit of glug of that. Then I've got the roasted garlic. The garlic has just been roasted for 40 minutes. Cut the top off that and then squeeze it all out into your mashed potato. It looks more decadent than it is. This mashed potato is a great dish because it's actually much more interesting flavour and much lower in calories from the usual version, full of fat and full of cream. So it really is a good standby for a kind of dinner party or something like that. So there we have it, my posh mash. And that's it, it's perfect.
Lisa's chicken burger meal is one of her favourite takeaways.
My biggest sin food, especially when I've had a bad day or I'm feeling a bit low, is a spicy chicken burger.
But Lisa's fatty fix is going straight to her thighs, thanks to the deep-fried burger, bun, fatty mayo and greasy chips. Harry's challenge, a crispy chicken meal without a chip in sight.
I'm making a coleslaw based on celeriac, which you're very kindly dealing with, radish, which has got that quite strong mustard background flavour, fennel, and fennel I just can't seem to get enough of, red cabbage and red onion. Sal, can I have the yoghurt, please?
Yeah.
The reason I'm using Greek yoghurt is because I really think that you need to have creaminess that isn't mayonnaise, that isn't sort of oil-based.
Well, it's only 10% fat, so it gives you that sort of creaminess you want, but not all the calories on the old hips.
Just a little bit of sherry vinegar. And what that does is it just gives it a tiny background flavour. So salt and pepper. We're done on the coleslaw.
Fab.
Chicken. My main aim for Lisa has been to try and recreate that crispy, crunchy texture which you get from frying in gallons of oil. And the way we're going to do that is by using a polenta and parmesan mixture for the crust. I'm just loosening up egg whites. Can we have that polenta? And also, can you please grate me some parmesan into there? And then I also want a little bit of cayenne pepper. The reason I'm using cayenne pepper in this recipe is because the type of chicken that she goes for is spicy. Dip it.
Hardcore coating,
Yeah.
so she feels like she's not missing out.
And we are not cutting back on the coating or the crunchy, crispy factor. That's got to be the most important part. You've got to keep your eyes on these bad boys. My ears are saying that it's time to turn over because they're making that sort of noise of sizzle, sizzle. Lemon is the last little thing.
To make this dish more indulgent, add a few potato wedges. Lisa's regular chicken burger and chips can top well over 1,000 calories. Harry's skinny version is almost a quarter of that. In Britain, we spend over £2 billion a year on slimming products. But is it all a huge waste of money, or do some actually work? Each week, we're looking at popular diet products used by people for slimming. Tonight, it's the turn of Madal Bal Natural Tree Syrup, otherwise known as the Lemon Detox. Users are instructed to dilute the syrup with water and use as a meal replacement. Its distributors claim that as well as cleansing the body of toxins, the product will aid significant weight loss if the user is overweight. We gave a group of volunteers the opportunity to try out the natural tree syrup.
Could you raise your arms up for me, please?
Our doctor took down all their measurements, and the ladies went on to try the product for 2 weeks. But there was a twist. While Group A were given the real product, Group B were given a bottle of grenadine syrup to dilute with water. Will the genuine product help Group A to lose weight? And what will happen to Group B as they try out our bottle of syrup? Find out our results later in the programme. Lisa's love of fat-filled food doesn't stop at takeaways. She's a sucker for sweet stuff.
I really enjoy eating fruit tarts, especially ones with strawberries on, because I actually feel that I'm being semi-healthy because they've got fruit on.
Her regular fruit tarts are actually fueling her flab thanks to the butter-filled pastry and sugary custard. Sophie's challenge, a skinny strawberry tart that's still scrumptious.
The usual version is full of egg yolks, sugar, brandy, cream, the whole boodling. So I'm going to do a kind of slightly different thing. I'm going to do a biscuit base, so you get rid of the pastry. Okay. And can you grab the butter out of the pastry? Now, I am using a little bit of butter, but compared to the en masse that I would chuck into a sweet paste, it's hardly anything.
And what's the butter for exactly?
Well, this is what is going to make the biscuits stick together. It's just going to be poured into the biscuits. And this just gets popped in the bottom here.
Are you just creating a little ledge around the outside like a tart would?
Yeah. In the fridge, set for about 10 minutes.
Righty here.
Harry, I'm going to get you to do this because this is a job that you can do while the biscuit's chilling down. I just want it kind of chopped in half like that. You know. While you're doing that, I want to make the filling. And my little tip is I've used some really low-fat cream cheese for this. Some really nice vanilla pods. Stir that. Now for my sweetener, I'm going to add lots of honey. I'm just going to pop this in. But I'm just going to chill it for another 10 minutes or so before we put the strawberries on.
Okay.
it on. And this is where it just, you can do what you want with it, really. With a few blueberries. I love honey. Wow.
Amazing.
It didn't fall apart.
Stunning.
To make this tart more indulgent, lightly drizzle some melted chocolate on the top.
You guys go first.
It's seriously good, Sophie. Whoa.
Lisa's usual shop-bought fruit tart used to cost her over 300 calories. A portion of Sophie's strawberry tart is 275. Even when Lisa's on her best behaviour, she can't avoid a trip to her favourite local.
If I'm trying to be good but I haven't got time to cook anything else, then getting a kebab is just the easiest option for me.
Gizzy's challenge: create a skinny kebab that's tastier than a takeaway.
What I've got here is some chicken. I've made a marinade with barely any oil in it at all. Chopped garlic, some smoked paprika and some salt and pepper. Kebab skewers, soaking them in cold water. And what this does is stops it burning when you grill them. Pop some of these on and strip. So I'm going to just lay these on. I'm going to make a delicious garlic sauce. Rather than using a mayonnaise and oil-laden garlic sauce, I've made one out of zero-fat Greek yogurt. Garlic. So I'm just going to whack some of this beautiful parsley into this sauce. Gherkins. So this is just a flour tortilla, garlic yogurt, all over the top. Little gem lettuce leaves. Tomato, gherkins. Jalapenos I find quite spicy, but I love them and they've got a real nice acidic kick to them.
We now have a nappy.
Nappy wrap tortilla. Exactly. Just going to tuck this underneath.
Proper kebab.
There we go.
For a more indulgent kebab, add some tasty sweet chilli sauce.
Okay, dig in, girls.
Absolutely stuffed full of flavour, that.
The girls packed Lisa a hamper of tasty ingredients. Over the next 6 weeks, she'll be cooking herself thin with chicken and coleslaw, fish and chips, chicken kebabs and strawberry tart, plus more of their snacks and treats. With high hopes of Lisa dropping a dress size, the girls hit the shops to find the perfect dress.
What do you think for Lisa?
I think that's beautiful.
The question is, will she be able to fit into a size 14 or a size 12? But first, the results of our experiment. We're buying more of them, but do weight loss products actually work? This week we put Madal Natural Tree Syrup, or Lemon Detox, to the test. This product costs £39.99 for a litre. Its distributors claim that as well as cleansing the body of toxins, the product will aid significant weight loss if the user is overweight. Up against it is our fake product, which is simply grenadine syrup. Both products are used as a meal replacement and diluted with water before drinking. For 2 weeks, half our guinea pigs unknowingly took the fake detox drink and half used the genuine product. Here's the surprising results.
Thank you very much.
On the real weight loss product, the women managed to lose an average grand total of 4.1 pounds.
After the 2 weeks, I did notice that my clothes were definitely looser.
I didn't really feel any different to usual, apart from when I was missing the meal. I felt hungrier than usual.
Do you want to step onto the scales for me, please?
In our little test, the women on the fake product, essentially sugared water, lost weight too. They lost an average grand total of 3.3 pounds.
If I've lost some weight, then surely other people can too, because I have one of the worst wills in the world.
By the time I came to dinner, I was so ravenous that I found myself ploughing into, you know, some pretzels or something while I was cooking, which is something I don't normally do.
So the genuine product did just about manage to beat our fake product. Bring on the professor.
I think the subjects in both groups lost a bit of weight because they cut a meal out every day, and they lost weight because they reduced their calorie intake. They were eating less. It's nothing to do with the detox material. It's just actually eating less. You get the same effect if you'd had a couple of glasses of water.
We put our results to the manufacturers. They said lemon detox is a cleansing programme and weight loss is a side effect of that. Its formula is rich in essential minerals and nutrients to nourish and sustain the body in the absence of food. Water obviously does not do that and cannot be compared. We say don't skip meals. 6 weeks ago, Lisa Hudson was fanatical about fatty foods, and her best mate was her microwave. Our 4 chefs' aim was to get Lisa to control her cravings and give her some appetising alternatives. Lisa took on the recipes and got over her kitchen crisis. But 6 weeks later, did it actually work?
Oh, brilliant!
Lisa used to be a size 16, bothered with her chubby thighs and bulging belly. But after cooking herself thin, she's dropped 8.5 pounds and a fantastic 2 dress sizes to become an all-over size 12.
How did you get on?
A lot better than I thought.
Oh, brilliant.
Can you have faith in our cooking?
No, I didn't have any faith in my cooking.
Did it feel like awful diet food?
No, it didn't feel like diet food at all. It was very easy to cook, very fulfilling, and at the end of the day, because I was cooking it myself, I actually knew what was going into it, and I'm actually enjoying cooking, so...
Yes, that makes us so happy.
Well, girls, I mean, that is results, isn't it? Wow, brilliant.
So there's a big cheers to Lisa.